I recently asked all the best BG players in the world what they thought were the best and worst tribes in the game. Since last time, quests were removed and a huge minion overhaul really shook up the meta. So I hope you guys enjoy the most accurate pro tribe tier list of Season 7 Battlegrounds. Before I get into the F tier tribes, I have to tell you guys about my regular updated BG cheat sheet, which shows you how to play every single comp in the game, as well as which spots to play them from and their core pieces. You can find the cheat sheet in the description. Therefore, when I tell you guys how to play these comps, I won't go through how specifically to play them. You can easily just check that out. Okay, on to the video. Let's start with the F tier, the tribes that all the pros unanimously thought were the worst tribes in the game. And the first one of these is Beasts. Self-damage variation of Beasts were already pretty bad when Skyblazer was on tier 4 and Skyblazer gave plus 2 HP as its effect. After nerfing both of these cards, this comp is never ever worth going for. This comp is capped in the sense that at a certain point, there's literally nothing you can do to improve your board state because your entire board is just 40-40 mediocre units all around and it'll be impossible to pivot out of it. This comp is missing that 6-star hyperscaling card that makes going for this comp worth it. Golden Beast is actually slightly better and does counter some of the best comps in the game, but it's still not great without Banana Slamma. The main upside to playing this comp is that it's really good against high attack shields. But once again, this comp is super capped in the amount of stats you can actually get, so you're actually never going to beat high stat comps ever. The next tribe in the F tier is surprisingly Murlocs. Moving Primal Fin Lookout to Tavern 5 single-handedly destroyed this tribe. It was common to play Murlocs with like Rylak or Primal Fin, but both received very heavy nerfs. It's also very hard to get early Bream Counter setup going now without Primal Fin on Tavern 4, so you're pretty much just never going to enable this tribe and go for it. The way to play Murlocs is still to trigger Primal Fin Lookout a bunch of times with Bran, but the setup just comes online so much later that it's in the F tier for the first time in a long time. And lastly, in the F tier is Menagerie. The only Menagerie support currently in the game is Nala, which received a pretty significant buff from +2/+1 to +2/+2. However, they also straight up removed a lot of the spell generators that were pretty important to enable Nala in the past, so now you can only enable this tribe with like Syllabaz, Marine Matriarch, or even Shell Whistler. Next, we're moving on to the B tier, the tribes that some of the pros thought were bad, but some thought were okay. And the first one of those is Naga's. Naga's previous worst strategy, which was Deep Blue Zesty, saw a very significant buff. And Deep Blue was moved from Tavern 4 to Tavern 3 with also a base stats increase, both of which are extremely relevant because it's just so much easier to pick up that early Deep Blue now and then commit to it with the Zesty later on Tavern 4. It's also a very easy strategy to play if you're a beginner. Also in the B tier were Undead. Undead is similar to Beast in the sense that their cap is not that high, but it's still a lot higher than Beast, okay? KT Morose and her sister scaling is pretty much unbeatable for a couple of turns in the mid game. KT Summoner and KT Anubrak are also two decent options for Undead, completely playable. But the most important thing to Undead, I think, is the change to Grave Robber, which will add the targeted card to your hand instead of adding 3 gold. This is really impactful and makes tripling your Undead so much easier. Ultimately, Undead is still a mid-range tribe that often can't get first place, so it's in the B tier. And finally in the B tier, we have Demons. Demons were initially S tier upon launch, but it got hit by a couple of things. First, Demons have 0 utility and get destroyed by high attack Divine Shield, which are very common in the meta. Sure, you can run Cultist Asara, but taunting your biggest demon is so weak to Bramble Witch, it's just so risky. The other huge blow to demons was the nerf to Rylak and Deathscale, which makes it way harder to proc Slimy Fellblad a couple of times while staying on Tavern 4. That's it for the B tier, but there's only one tribe for the A tier, guys. And that's because this tribe is significantly better than all the B tier tribes, but also significantly worse than all the S tier tribes. Yes, there's a lot of S tier tribes in this meta. And that A tier tribe is Pirates. Pirates are a tribe that didn't change too much the last couple of months, and the main carry is still Tethys brand. The key concept of scaling by cycling as many cards as you can is still the same, and in a more mid-range meta, such as this one, Pirates may struggle a bit more because you just have less time to get online. However, Tethys Pirates will never be bad because with infinite money, you have access to like every single tech option in the game every single turn, so you can easily find blasters, golden hateful hag, boon of beetles, anything you can think of that will help you win the fight. Eliza Pirates is also a decent mid-range comp that definitely has its place in the meta because it does pretty well against high attack divine shield units. So Pirates are overall a tier. And finally, what we're all waiting for, the S tier, where all the pros thought these tribes were the best in the game. No other tribe even came close. The first of these are Quobors, with 2 out of 5 pros listing them as the top 3 tribes. Quobors are undeniably the fastest scaling in the game. You can go from 100 to 1000 in a matter of 2 or 3 turns. That being said, its early game and mid game actually aren't the best. You'll need to ramp up the gem scaling for a couple of turns before you can really pop off with your gem generator. So there's a window of 2 to 3 turns you really need to just live. And in that window, if you miss Kari, your spot is not actually that good. I mean, this is why Kobolds aren't the most consistent tribe based on MR, but also, oftentimes you just hit the Poke Jakari early on and you just take your free win. Kobolds would honestly be the best tribe in the game if the best two S tier tribes didn't counter them so hard. We'll get to those, but first we must reveal the next S tier tribe, which are Elementals. Elementals are very strong, still thanks to Recycling Rate. Recycling Rate just gives you 20 gold per game if you decide to play into it, which is insanity for a Tavern 4 unit. Combine this with cards such as Greymane, Rock, Tethys, or Bran, and you can go infinite very easily. The most popular way to infinitely cycle elementals is to keep your golden Tavern Tempest and Bran on your board and use every single trigger Battlecry effect on it, while your Recycling Wraith allows you to just roll more trigger Battlecry effects. Elementals may be strong, but it's definitely not as prevalent as the next 2 tribes due to its weakish mid-game. Getting to those tribes, the first of which are Dragons. Dragons mid-game is the best we've ever seen, to be honest. Amber Guardian single-handedly shields all your dragons, and Roaring Rallier comes with way too many stats for a Tavern 3 unit, okay? However, Dragon endgame is also not a force to be reckoned with. Multiple Nightbanes combined with Persistent Poet results in all your dragons just consistently having 500 or more attack, effectively giving your whole board Divine Shield and Poison. Dragons do have one major weakness though. Dragons almost always lose to the best tribe in the game, and there's really nothing you can do about it. This is a tribe that saw almost no play the past 3 metas, but after the most recent balance update, rose straight to the top. I'm proud to announce that mechs are the strongest tribe in the game. Mechs are like dragons. They make high attack Divine Shield units that are very strong in both the mid game and the end game. However, thanks to utility cards such as Deflectobot and Foeper, mechs pretty much never lose to dragons. Mechs are the best out of every tribe because it doesn't lack in the mid game or the end game. Divine Shields are insanely hard to deal with in the mid game, with all the buffed mechs being so much easier to pick up. I'm talking Scavenge for Parts being 2 gold and Scrap Scraper giving you a magnetic immediately. Then, mechs can easily transition into the late game with scaling cards such as Utility Drone and Charging Sarina, making your Divine Shields bigger. The only thing that can deal with mechs currently are insanely highly statted elementals or Quobors, but by that time mechs are already guaranteed top 3 because of their incredible mid game. That's why mechs deserve S tier. This is the final tribe tier list for Season 7 Battlegrounds, and I couldn't have done this without the help of Goddammit, XQN, Beater Babbitt, and HuyaGuo. I'm not kidding when I say these are literally the best players in the world. HuyaGuo is a Chinese player that literally won the tournament that I participated in last week, so if you don't trust me, definitely trust him. All of them stream, and you can check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys subscribe, share it with all your friends, and yeah, peace.